Mike, will you marry me? And if not, will you bang me in a life raft?
Can do.
Do a musical, shall we? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Today we are talking about Season 7, Episode 17, Penumbra. Penumbra, who's to say? Very excited to talk about it here with Mike and Deglio, my little co-host on this show. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Keith. What a difference a week and a half makes. We had a sort of a non-planned break because we dropped Monday of last week, and then the timing, So I'm feeling refreshed. Yes, the world is crazy. There are ups, there are downs. But
Mostly downs.
Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to keep it up. The Philadelphia Phillies, who were getting slaughtered by the LA Dodgers and had quit on me, it really broken my heart. They showed a little fight last night. You know what? And I don't need to win. A little fight is all I needed to see. So I'm feeling better about that. We had a great stream for the show last night. Patreon.com/KandM. Just wonderful people having a good time together. Really warms my heart. And lots of good stuff. I'm going away for a couple days to do some gigs. You've got your gig coming up. All kinds of stuff. It's all good news. Tell me you're feeling just as high on life as I am, Keith.
What? Look, you know, this is gonna sound insincere, but I mean it sincerely. I'm stressed out this morning. I'm stressed the F out. I've got the world, obviously, but like I've got my show coming up. It's going great. We did a press release yesterday. Had to do like emergency press photos on Saturday. That was super stressful, but I did it and it worked out just fine. Also have my brother's wedding coming up in a couple of weeks between now and the show. So like that's gonna be a thing. I'm officiating, so I'm a busy guy, And so I was feeling all stressed out this morning, and then I realized, you know what I could really use for my brain, for my mental health? Doing this little show.
Yes.
So I can't believe it, but for reals, I was like, I'm in a way. You know what's gonna cheer me up? Doing Keith and Mike Watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine and hanging out with all y'alls.
I cannot even believe I'm gonna say this out loud to you on the internet, but I'm going to. Which is interesting because I've said crazy things on the internet in this very show.
Oh, goodness, yes.
Did you know, Keith, for the first time, you, Keith Varney, came up in my therapy.
Really?
Yeah, we were talking about
I made it.
We were just like, doing that kind of the weekly recap.
It was an honor just to be nominated.
And this is so... I'm so embarrassed. It's really hard to make me embarrassed. And here's why. I'm going to tell you. You have not heard this before.
I have not.
So Keith and I were feeling a little burnt out last week before, whenever. And we started talking about the Voyager show. And you had made just kind of like a general proposal. You're like, maybe we'll do it every other week. Just kind of give ourselves a little breathing room. Totally valid. Totally get it. Do you know that made me very sad?
Did it really?
Made me really sad. I just felt sad about it. And I couldn't parse why that was. So I had to talk to my therapist about it. She's like, well, I think you're taking it as like, you're going to like lose some of your friendship, or maybe the internet thing is a really great outlet for you and you need to fill it with other things. I was like, yeah, maybe all of those things. But also maybe it just indicates how much I enjoy doing this every week. And it is a bit of my therapy.
Well, as it is for me, as it legitimately is for me.
We just have to find that line where we don't burn ourselves out.
That's right. Yeah. So it was merely a passing thought. We
I know.
haven't discussed it in anything. We could do 3 out of 4 weeks. We could do.
We could do anything.
We could do it every day.
I just wanted to tell you I love you, buddy. That's all I'm trying to say.
I appreciate it, and likewise. All right. So, and I have.
Keith, say the words.
I love you too, Mike.
Thank you.
So in order to punish you for that sweet thought, we're going to have a little surprise coming up in our first segment. Keith reads the Patron comments from last week's episode. So here is what you had to say about Inter, Arma, Enum, Silent, Legia's last week. Now, if you would like me to read your comment, all you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/K&M. Spell out that and. If I really wanted this to be successful, I put that link on the screen. But that's not how I roll.
Welcome back, Fedora the Explorer, by the way.
Yes.
Pipped and popped back on in.
Pip and Pop, always welcome. So here's what you had to say. Joshua Cronin says, not a bad episode. I feel like this is the last episode before the final arc, personally. I think I agree with you. It's kind of standalone-y. But now we're in for the ride. I enjoy the intricacy of Section 31 here. Agree, I like getting some Romulan sides of the story. I hated that they casted a different actor as Kretak. I loved Megan. I think they could have just used a different character name and there was no reason to still use Kretak, but oh well. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with 87 self-sealing stem bolts.
Wait, Keith, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a new light?
Oh yeah, I got it. It's been there for a while. But I don't always remember to turn it on.
Oh yeah, nice light bar.
Little light bar. I used it for my promo videos for my show.
Do you want to know why I realized it?
Why is that?
Move your chair a little bit.
Other
way, yeah. You'll notice that it is not perpendicular with your shelf.
Oh, yeah. It's because I haven't, because the floor is not exactly, I know, I've been working on it. I know, buddy, I know.
I'm just saying, it only caught my eye because it's not straight.
Look, this is a 100% neurodivergent podcast.
Yes, it is.
If you weren't wondering, A, how did Mike notice? B, how did Keith know exactly what Mike said before he said a word? 100%. All right, awesome. Brian from Video Game Drive-By says, hey guys, glad my last comment got y'all so excited about my old security job.
So many questions.
The big thing a lot of folks don't realize is kind of the mistake that a lot of shows make. Security and surveillance are different departments. At security, I wasn't supposed to know the goings-on of surveillance folks. A little bit like the distinction between Starfleet security and Starfleet intelligence, so it's hush-hush upstairs. This is fascinating.
Yep.
A person can get promoted from security to surveillance, but usually once you leave surveillance, you gotta leave the company. Yeah, because you know too much. As for this episode, a lot of left-hand and right-hand double dealing going on, and I love it. Everyone is top sneaky, and even though the twists are predictable, it's fantastic fun to watch. And yet again, Garrick predicts the entire episode by hoping Bashir will one day be as grim, untrusting, and cynical as him. Mission accomplished. 89 secret agent stem bolts. Kevin Miles comes in and says, I have been remiss in commenting for the last several episodes. Real life got in the way. I feel you, buddy. 100%. I'm clearing some land on my property and have been watching your show later than usual. Okay. Tell me about... As someone who has cleared land on property, it's super fun, intensely hard work. Like, what are you clearing it for? What does the property look like? What's the vegetation that you're clearing? I have all these questions.
Yeah, there's so, like hard work, which I am no fan of, to be honest with you, generally speaking.
I mean, you've seen the show.
When it's your... When it's your house or like your property or your land or you're doing something, it's less, that hard work actually feels like an investment,
Oh, it's a million times different when you get to keep it.
Right, like if I'm painting an apartment, okay. But when I'm painting here, I want it done right because I'm gonna have to look at this.
Oh yeah. Did some work mulching and putting some bricks around the bushes the other day, and I was like,
I'm building a shed.
Satisfying. You're building a shed.
So our shed is old and rotty, and I had decided I was going to potentially, because I'm not I have no carpentry skills, 0. And I was going to
super complicated.
I was just going to just buy a plastic shed and insert it into the shell of the old shed, like pull the shelves down and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, that's stupid. So I called my buddy Paul, who is pretty handy with the stuff, and I said, would you be willing, I'll fund the budget for the shed. Would you be willing to basically do it and just have me be your gopher? Like, tell me what to do and I'll do it manually, but like, teach me as you go. And so he's going to teach me how to frame the walls. We're going to do it. We're going to do the whole thing.
It's basically just Legos, but big. It's really fun.
See, I wish somebody had pitched it to me that way. That does sound fun.
I mean, it's just Legos, right?
I guess.
That's all it is.
Like with measuring and stuff.
But do you know how to measure?
But I don't know what to measure. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just needed a little...
Wood.
I got a guy, Keith, all right? I got a guy.
But 100%, yes. Clearing on your own property, like, that's fun. Kevin continues, however, I give this episode 94 stem bolts. The pace is picking up. The final stretch of the series will fly by. Enjoy, Mike. Yeah.
I'm psyched. I'm actually a little upset because I realized I'm going to get the bingey... I've got the bingey feels already.
You're going to get the bingey munchies, and it's going to feel weird because you're not going to get a period on the end of the sentence until the end of the show. And so you're always going to want to continue. But because we're doing this little experiment here,
I know.
You can't. It's really quite something. So speaking of things that are really quite something, Hibernation Pod has teed me up here, and I've been talking about doing this for a while because I've mentioned it. And I feel like it's time to show the Deep Space Nine audience the glory that we had in our previous show. So Hibernation Pod starts with, I still think Mike's destructive contribution to the AlamarEmmys is gold, and I 100% agree. If anybody in the world does a satisfying destructive contribution, which is the beautiful way of putting that.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to own that as my brand.
And
a destructive
can you put it like
contributor.
on a business card?
Destructive contributor.
Mike and Deglio,
Holy crap.
destructive.
You know, some people want to be disruptors. Not me.
No, destruction.
Destructor.
It's fantastic. So anyway, the AlamarEmmy, the destruction of the AlamarEmmy bumper is only a sequel to the original. It had a higher budget, right? But it wasn't necessarily had all of the surprising glory of the first one. So I just pulled up the best example of Mike's destructive contribution, and that is from our previous show at the Out of Practice podcast,
which is available.
It's absolutely available. It's basically this show, but me showing Mike the practice, the David E. Kelly lawyer show from the 90s. And so basically the exact same premise. We do that. The only difference there is we actually listen to the entire episode. You can listen to that in your podcasting services. Anyway, so similar to this show, I also had little songs and bumpers all over the place. And we also did a sort of a fake awards show at the end. It was the Oopsies as opposed to the AlamarEmmys. But one of the segments, because it was a legal show. Which also by the
end of the show was so steeped in inside jokes that you had no idea what we were talking about. It is
utterly incomprehensible, but I think that's saying that is redundant for a Keith and Mike production. So one of our segments was the most valuable lawyer. Of course, we had to hand out an award for the most valuable lawyer. And so the bumper started sounding like this. Most valuable. So just because I like to do different genres and different styles.
I mean, hold on.
For all my bumpers.
Time out.
So that was just sort of like a lazy opera version. But Mike, being both destructive and ambitious.
And vocally injured, apparently.
And, whether it was before or during, you were by the end of it, for sure. So Mike decided, you know what? I feel like I want to hop onto this and contribute his version. So please enjoy.
No. I think the real story is actually better.
But what is the real story?
Well, current viewers would never know that we had a lot of technical issues in the beginning. Now it's such a smooth, efficiently run
We didn't
spaceship.
have to reboot before we started.
So oftentimes, it's never happened on this show, but the audio just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And I believe this was an occasion where the bumper did not play, and so you, in your improvisational manner, tasked me with just performing the bumper.
Oh, did I? Oh,
and I think I did it.
I'm known to do that.
Yeah, I think I did it, and this happened.
And
And then it was so funny to one particular viewer, I believe your mother,
My mother almost died laughing about this.
That we then repurposed it on top of the music, or did we not, or ever do
Oh
that?
no! I added it to. It became our official bumper, much like the AlamarEmmys. This about killed my mother. But in case you're wondering, you know what? Just like I wish we had like 47 million more hours of this idiocy.
Oh,
here's
yeah.
a clip from the Out of Practice podcast.
Keith, you know what it's time for? No, give me the right key. I'm gonna, goddamn it, I'm gonna give it a try. Most valuable Lord. I had to flip it. I had to fucking flip it. No one can do that.
Let's see if I was right. I might be wrong. No, I was right. Okay.
Most. I couldn't leave it. Valuable. Why can't Lord? Guys, I want everybody to know that I'm really trying. All right, wait, hold on, one more.
You got it this time. You got it.
I'm gonna hurt myself.
Breathe.
My eyes cross. Most valuable Lord.
If we just listen to this, I can't even breathe enough to laugh.
I quit. I tried. I hurt myself.
Whew, well, enjoy the new version of that bumper forever. Yeah. Classic.
Wow, that'll never get old.
Classic.
That'll never get old. Well, I never
It'll
recovered.
never get. My mother is still laughing.
I'm doing another Schmershy Boys, and I have to sing a different part now. I can't even sing anymore. I think I literally destroyed myself.
Well, you know, as the video proved, we're older now than we were when we did
We're
that.
so smooth-skinned back then.
Oh my goodness, my beard wasn't just flat white. Whew. Anyway, Hibernation Pod, whose fault this was, continues. Garrick's opening talk with Bashir reminds me fondly of the days I used to talk to people in person. I always felt like him, listening in sadness and disappointment to their happy outlook on everything. When Keith last week mentioned that he was sad that we were at this point, it is how I was feeling knowing that the final days were upon us during the original broadcast. Even though I was deep in some lousy times, I wouldn't miss any of these for anything. I wonder if they had got the idea for the operative in Serenity from the Sloane character. Interesting. It would make sense. He says something very similar about living in the better universe or something, but a monster like him cannot join the rest of society in the brave new world. Looking back on it, I thought today that I really liked the Section 31 element of Deep Space Nine. I used to feel like they should have given us more, but now that I feel like we got just enough and it was essentially perfect. William Sadler was a great get. My question to you guys, we often hear people say how they wish something was feature length or a two-parter to get more out of it. Do you feel like that 43 minutes is adequate to or properly perfect for this type of story to be executed? It really depends on the story. And I think there are examples, many examples on Deep Space Nine of both them executing it flawlessly. And we don't need it. We got 43 minutes. We didn't need 44. If we had 42, it wouldn't be enough. And there are other times where it's like this should have been more because we couldn't execute it. So, yeah, I think it varies. I think some, and contemporary television has the option, at least if you're not on broadcast, to do a 35-minute episode or an hour-long episode based on the amount of story that you have. But within these parameters, I think it's less about the minutes in the hour as it is the execution of those minutes.
Yes, 100% hard agree. I'm going to change the the medium for just a moment because that extends to all art, I think. Just yesterday, I was going through my vinyl. I was alphabetizing my vinyl.
Sure, makes sense.
I came across an album I haven't listened to in quite a long time. One of my favorites. It's on my pantheon of greatest, and that's Weezer's second album. A lot of people love their first album, the Blue Album. My personal favorite is their second album. It's called Pinkerton. And I remember listening to it the first time back in 1995-ish, and going to check to see if the CD was broken, because it is 34 minutes long. The entire album is 34 minutes, and I was really disappointed. And so I listened again and then realized, oh no, that's perfect. Yeah. Like, there's not one crappy song. There's no filler. It's get in, rock for 34 minutes, and then you're out. So art is, now like Keith said, I think a problem with a lot of episodes is when you work backwards. We have to make this 48 minutes.
Right.
And we only have 34 minutes of story. That's when you get crap.
Yeah. Well, and it's true of everything else. It's what do you do with the time that you have? I mean, like, you take a play. Mm-hmm. Like August Osage County, if you did the intermissions, it's like 3 hours and 15 minutes. And it was short. Mm-hmm. I have seen some shows that are an hour and 15 minutes, and it's a slog because it's too long. It's all about execution.
Well, hold on. Let's flip that. One more. I have one more media.
Are we too long? Goodness, yes.
Yeah, long form podcast, baby. There's only like 2 of them left, and ours is 1. So they are re-releasing. Quentin Tarantino was re-releasing a cut of Kill Bill's Volume 1 and 2 in the theater called Kill Bill: The Entire Bloody Affair, and it's his cut, the cut he intended originally. So there's like a whole scene. So because the studio forced him into 2 different movies, he added a scene at the end of the first movie, and there's a scene he cut from the second movie, and now he's like making those adjustments and re-releasing it into theaters. Now my question is, that could never be done commercially in the beginning. Obviously they would have done it, but right. Now we seem to have an appetite for that type of thing. We don't mind going to the theater for a 4-hour movie. We don't mind, watching a 8-hour documentary as long as it's packaged up nicely in bite-sized chunks for us on Netflix. Like, we are just entire media consumption. I don't even watch network anything anymore.
No.
So it's interesting that, do you think streaming has just changed our attention span or our expectation of how we consume?
Interesting, because you're like pushing back on the idea that our attention span has shortened. Because, like through TikTok, if it's longer than 30 seconds, I'm not going to watch it. And yet, we all want the extended director's cut version of blah, 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 blah. And we'll watch Tiger King for 72 hours, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think what we are finding is that the parameters of what entertainment can be are wider because of the internet. All of the gatekeeping is... and so you have these wild variations in the amount of professionalism too, as well. Like, you have a sloppy, stupid podcast like us, or a Marvel movie, and people are like, oh, I have an appetite for all of the above. Whereas when things were both on television and film were so curated, you had to sort of live, you had to reach a certain bar in time and length and budget and professionalism, whatever it is, in order to get any attention. And I think we're just much more omnivores than we ever were now.
Yes. But I think the destructive nature is that I wouldn't mind it so much if those decisions were being made creatively. Like, this is what the story demands, right? Which is what I sort of presented in this versus like the 48 minutes. However, we both know there's some dude in an office just looking at the analytics of the streaming and deciding exactly when people are bouncing and bounce rate. They don't give a crap about what.
Of course. I mean, and at this point, it's like an AI algorithm that just will cancel a show. Yeah, I mean, the intersection of art and commerce. Commerce will always be the thing limiting art, and so like that too. Except for if we don't have any commerce, our art can be whatever we want it to be. Mm. That's the.
Would you like to add to the commerce of Keith's show?
Hey! No scratching the chairs.
Yeah, good luck on that.
I know. Charlie is all jacked up because there's birds outside his window.
I love people who are like, how do I make the cat stop scratching the couch? You don't.
You don't.
What are you talking about?
You don't. No, the cat.
Make
cats
the
are
cat anything is paradoxical.
Cat's gonna cat. Anyway, we desperately need to move forward.
Keith, did we have a hot cat content? Was that on this show or the last show?
That's the last show.
Okay.
Hibernation Pod continues. Also, I always figured that Bashir did resist the Romulan brain scanners and never gave the thought of Koval possibly interfering. 90 self-sealing stem bolts. YouTube viewer says there's a popular fan theory that Ben Sisko is a part of Section 31, or at least he willingly worked with them like Admiral Ross did. I would believe that. There's a lot of good supporting evidence to this fan theory. The biggest is that Section 31 would definitely approve of Sisko's actions in the pale moonlight, and they might have helped him behind the scenes. They also probably approve of the way he handled the Maquis. But I don't believe Section 31 would have wanted to have Sisko with them because he is the emissary of the prophets and that he would be have divided loyalty. Definitely not great in spy work. If Sisko wasn't a religious figure, I bet Section 31 would recruit him. This is a great episode with 2 minor flaws. Great acting, great pacing, great philosophical questions, great scenery, great world building. 2 problems, and these are old complaints. As Keith predicted, I dislike the vaporized body. I dislike it in this episode the most, for all of the obvious reasons. In fact, they don't even have to explain how in the show. Second, it bugs me that we don't get much continuity with the Romulan characters that are well written with great actors. Cardassia gave us Garrick, Dukat, and Damar. For Ferenginar, we have Quark, Nog, and Rom. Ishka, Zek, Gala, Brunt. Klingons gave us Martok, Gowron, Dakor, the Dahar Master, and Romulans don't get half of the development of the Ferengi, and even less compared to Cardassia and the Klingons. 93 self-justifying stem bolts. Yeah, I mean, I
my Bolian over my shoulder says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, right. Hold my Bolier. Yeah, you know, it's. I think Romulans get a little bit more color in on Next Gen, because Romulans play a much bigger role on Next Generation because you have the unification episodes, you have the Defector, and I think that the problem is they're all sort of one-off episodes with one-off characters. We don't really we don't get to know any individual Romulan on Next Gen, but that's true of Next Gen in general. We don't really get to know supporting characters very well. You know, like other than maybe like Troy, we don't really get to know Gowron, that kind of stuff. So there's not a lot of like recurring non-Starfleet people on Next Gen. I don't know. It proved me. I may be wrong, but anyway. JD says, so in like 3 episodes, will the cold open just be the 2 of you sitting there staring and then one of you cough? I think we did that this week. Mike, I know what you're talking about this feeling, and I can find better words for it. If I can find better words for it, I'll let you know. I don't remember what that was, but I'm sure that's true. I never got a bagel while in New York, and now I can't eat them. Yeah, that sucks. The difference between a good bagel is one's a bagel and the other one is round bread. So it continues, yeah, I have seen what you're talking about with the kids now. I simply have to hope that they will be all right. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but in ways we dealt with the things our parents never dealt with. Like I graduated the same year as Columbine, and that was top level insane then, and now it happens once a week, which is bat spit hit the fan crazy. But I have to hope. See, Keith gets annoyed by the dead air. I love the Antissa. I appreciate that they used another Intrepid class ship because having multiple ships of the same type was wonderfully consistent. Do you think Mike is going to remember Silik come next year? No.
Who?
Yeah. That scene with Jules and Garrick is so great that they talk like an old married couple. I hate all the pajamas on Star Trek except Quark's. Mike, this is not the Jane way. Keith, people will say agree to disagree, but it is such BS because most of the time they want to disagree on absolute facts and they don't like the truth. That is a fact, and that is the truth. So this episode gives me uncomfortable feels. On one hand, I understand Sloane and Ross's points about being willing to do the uncomfortable, immoral things to protect society, but I wish we could really live in a world where that was completely unnecessary. The hard part is to remain a moral person while not stooping to things like this. I had this conversation with one of my best friends many times because we were involved in politics and I worked with him when he ran for sheriff here in Harris County. and the debates we had about being in that position that requires hard choices. He obviously didn't win, although I wish he had. We need thoughtful sheriffs, please. And sadly, he died a couple of days ago, and I would love to have more than anything to have this conversation with him again. Rest in peace. Yes, so much is wonderfully executed. 94 self-sealing stem bolts. Mike, it's not a spoiler to say that the reason you haven't heard anything from Sisko in recent era is that Avery Brooks retired from acting like 10 to 15 years ago, and he doesn't even do cons or interviews or anything anymore. Come on, Mike. You can fake Latin better than that.
He just caught me off guard.
Patient.
Huh?
Get it?
Oh, yes. Got it.
Yeah.
I got it when I read the comment, and I got it now.
What do you say we talk about this episode, shall we?
Yeah.
Season 7, Episode 17, Penumbra, which aired on April 7th, 1999. The spring is springing. We took about a month off,
So
which
I'm like
means...
a couple months from graduation? So full senioritis now.
That's right. I forget that you went to class a year. We're the same age, but you were a year behind, school-wise.
Yes, although I was oldest in my grade. Yes, that would explain it, yeah. I don't think I was held back anywhere. I just think I started late, I think.
I mean, just a distinction without a difference.
I didn't double up any of my grades, so.
No, because I think you were born in November, so you're right at the tail end, and I was in May, so I think it was just a calendar thing.
So you graduated in 98?
98, yeah. So, but this allowed us, this time allowed us to get a new top song. And I'm pretty excited about it. My question is, Mike, do you believe what the top song was?
Do you believe in life after love, after love, after love? Is that right? Yeah, the Cher songs began.
Yes, that's true. This was like Cher's and it was almost bigger than she was before. I
have to say, and I love Cher. I love Cyndi Lauper. But they did one of those the Grammys salutes show specials on CBS, I think, or one of those networks. I'm sure it's on YouTube. It was a salute to Cyndi Lauper, hosted by Cher, and they performed a bunch of stuff together. Let me tell you, respect both of those women as musicians and as women. This was not an entertaining evening.
Oh, the top movie. Speaking of coming in hot, you ready for this? The Matrix.
Oh yeah, they just did a re-release in some theaters of that because its anniversary is coming, or just came.
How was the new one that just came out?
I did not watch that. I've only ever seen the first Matrix. I never watched the follow-ups.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. The first one is so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
The next two are really hard to get through.
Have you heard anything about this Waiting for Godot?
I have.
Okay. That's all you. That's enough. Is one half stronger than the other, I would suppose?
That I have heard that, although it's probably not who you're thinking. All right, so the question everyone's wondering is, what was Voyager doing? And guess what? They were off this week. The last episode they did was Think Tank, starring gigantic Star Trek nerd and Broadway person Jason Alexander.
Hey,
how about that? I was gonna say, should I say that so Mike doesn't get it spoiled? Mike's not gonna remember when we get to there. Not a chance. All right, so Penumbra was directed by Stephen L. Posey, who last directed Chimera. It was written by Rene Echevarria, which means it is time for the most trivial. Now Keith, waste your time.
With what?
With trivial trivia. Okay, so Wing Yun mentions the Sona outpost in this episode. Now, Mike, you don't know who the Sona are.
I don't.
Because we chose to save them whales. as opposed to watch Star Trek Insurrection.
I've got to help those whales!
We saved the whales, but the Sona are the bad guys in Star Trek Insurrection. And it is now mentioned it was mentioned in the movie that they're indeed allies of the Dominion and are a key manufacturer of the Ketracel White, used for the Jem'Hadar. So this episode, and I think this proves Joshua correct. This episode is the first part of a 10-hour, 9-part series finale, advertised as the final chapter.
Oh, it was advertised that way?
It was advertised that way.
So that's why there's no explicit to be continueds on the screen. But it is obviously that.
To be continued is now
implied
till series finale. So the title of this episode, Penumbra, often refers to a region of half shadow, half light. The word is usually used to refer to one of the parts of the shadow during an eclipse. The Penumbra comes after the Umbra, itself the darkest part of the shadow. Therefore, the title may be a reference to the fact that the show is now moving into its final chapter.
There's also a lot of foreshadowing taking place, and I don't like it.
Yeah, well,
because my deepest fear, we've discussed it.
Mm-hmm.
Him making a Joshua Cronin miniature in his apartment.
Oh, yeah,
Sisko, about where they're going to live with Cassidy and how nice our apartment's going to be, and we're going to put our bed over here, we're going to hang our flowers over here, is just shouting, "Ain't gonna happen!" So, can I tell you a horrific thought I had?
You've done it all day.
I would rather they blow up Bajor. Bajor is destroyed in the final battle. Then have Sisko die.
Wow. You get Death Star Bajor.
I don't know how many billions of Bajorans I just killed, but it ain't good. I don't feel good about it.
No, but you gotta do what's necessary.
You know what? Now I've got my t-shirt. On the front, it's just a picture of a blowing up planet. On the back, it says Mike and Deglio, the destructor of Bajor.
100%. And the destructor of Bajor and Keith's bumpers.
Yeah. It's a very specific t-shirt.
Very specific. But, we're in a very specific lane now. So, lastly, after this episode aired, some fans queried why, after an apparent night of passion, Worf and Ezri are both fully clothed the next morning. Agreed. Ira Stephen Bear has the answer.
It's cold.
What was a Klingon like under his clothes? It was just too complicated to think about. Didn't want to show the twin dangles.
Somebody said on the stream, it was really funny. I wish I could quote it correctly, but it was like, often clothed sex is the unsafest of sex, because if you're not even thinking of taking your clothes off, you clearly haven't taken other precautions.
Fair enough. You want to have the raincoat and nothing else. That's the ideal. Anyway, our guest stars this week include Penny Johnson back as Cassidy Yates, Jeffrey Combs as Wayun 7, Mark Alimo is here as Gul Dukat. Whoa, where are they going with that? Casey Biggs as Damar, Deborah Lacey as Sarah, and Salome Jens as the female changeling.
I've also decided I'm no longer watching the first 30 seconds after I don't want to see the guest stars.
Oh, yeah. Well, just your eye muffs.
Yeah.
Eye muffs the guest stars. Yeah, that works. That works. All right, so what? Speaking who probably wish they had earmuffs, eye muffs, and nose muffs when they watch our show.
The final page of the Hall of Fame. Every time. The first page of the Hall of Fame. And of course, our patrons. Thank you to each and every one of them. You can join the team. You get to watch me watch every episode of the final gauntlet of Deep Space Nine, and then whatever we watch next.
Yeah.
Of course, we also get some goodies in there, here and there. Keith and I do some live streams and such. Also, you can write us direct messages and we'll respond to you. You can tell us about your existential dread, your happiness, or just share your thoughts on what's going on. Keith and I read each and every message that come in. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your energy. We appreciate your love and support, especially your financial contributions. You can join for as little as $1, and you can give as much as you're able. Join the team at patreon.com/K&N.
You hear that, Bezos? Yeah, well, hey, yeah. So, thank you, patrons. Let's go into our screening room, shall we? You know, I should, like, reverse this one and do it, like, super good.
Yes, that's what you should do.
Not gonna happen, though. It takes way more effort. Destruction is so much easier than
Oh, yeah, that is absolutely true. You know, like when you would build up that Lego castle and then you would knock it down, you know which was the easier part?
Yeah, sure was. Okay, folks. So now, officially, we begin the final arc.
And we start with the aforementioned scene.
Yes. So, in our teaser, Ben is excitedly showing Cassidy land on Bajor he has just purchased. They do a pretty effective camera trick, starting with his picture as if it were an establishing shot before pulling back. And I think they did that in camera, which is impressive. So Ben is excited because he is going to build a home on Bajor to live in and retire in after the war. And he's brought about 12 hecapates. I don't know how much that is, but it looks like a lot.
It's like, I think, like 400 gigabytes, something like that.
Yeah, I would love to have 400 gigabytes of land. So we are reminded in the scene about his godlike history and destiny. So we're sort of re-racking for the audience as well. And sort of re-racking all the way back to the pilot, talking about the fact that he never intended to stay here, never intended to make this his home,
grow a goatee,
or shave his head, or get the cool new uniforms, you know, lots of different stuff. But yeah, sort of as you said, like we're setting up where he wants what he wants the end game to be. We'll see what happens. So later, Ezri, Bashir, and O'Brien discuss bumping into Captain Baudet, who Jadzia Captain Babanged.
I love that you did not pronounce one word correctly in that paragraph. Like, literally every word.
Okay, but there's a reason for this. Beyond my addled brain, right? And my bad mouth.
A couple of them were purposefully distorted. Most not.
Well, okay. First off, I've been talking for like an hour. Second of all, I did the notes on this voice texting into my phone while watching, because it's more fun than sitting at the computer.
No, that's actually
the problem with that is all of the Star Trek words and weird names get auto-corrected to whatever it is Siri thought it was. So now I have to auto-correct while reading and cold reading it, putting all the names back into place, and it doesn't always go well.
Cool, no problem, man.
So then Kira, spelled Keira by Siri, comes in with some bad news.
We killed Worf off screen.
Worf, spelled WHARF, like a long wharf, is missing. This is why my brain is bad right now. His ship was attacked and destroyed, and they don't know where he is or if he is alive. So in Act 1, Quark tries to cheer up Ezri. And he's kind of nice. He's like, he genuinely believes Worf's gonna make it. But after 3 days of searching, they still haven't found him. Quark thinks he can't be dead because Worf owes him money. So later, she gets a call in the middle of the night. The Defiant is giving up the search because there's a whole bunch of enemy ships approaching. Or Worf. Meanwhile, on Cardassia, Damar and Weyoun are sparring as usual. And we get a verbal cameo of the bad guys from Insurrection, which Mike will understand later, F. Murray Abraham. Weyoun was wondering why the Federation would spend so much time looking for Worf. And Damar bitterly explains that the Federation cares about their soldiers and doesn't consider them expendable like the Dominion does. Cardassia has taken a tremendous amount of casualties. And you can sort of see like Cardassia is starting to wear down with, the way the Dominion's treating them like Russian troops. Crazy. So, Damar, we see him continuing to drink, and we are reminded that the Founder is ill, and that she is hiding herself from the Cardassians to hide her illness. So this episode is sort of hard to adjudicate in a lot of ways, because we're really just laying the chess pieces on the board more than anything else.
Right. It's not just laying the chess pieces on the board. It's like we started playing a game of chess a little bit ago, but it had to clean up because family was coming over. So now we have to like remember where everybody was. So there's like an additional bit of that. Because I couldn't remember. I remembered the illness in the Great Link, but I couldn't remember who knew. And I had to be reminded that the Cardassians don't know. In fact, we only know because other Wayun defected.
Right. That's right. And so, so we're not only putting the chess pieces on the board, we're also setting everyone's motivations. Like, what do they want? What does everybody want in these things? Which is also super interesting. So, back on Deep Space Nine, Ezri breaks into Worf's quarters.
Broke into the old apartment.
And we hear a bunch of auditory flashbacks about his relationship with Jadzia.
Somebody's not getting their royalties this week.
So, Terry goes uncredited, and this will have consequences moving forward.
Will it?
But Ezri's... Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But Ezri's memories trigger her to make the obvious decision. When the Defiant gets home, we find out that Ezri has stolen a runabout and has gone off in search of Worf in the Badlands. So in Act 2, of course, Ben calls her to try to stop her, and she pretends she can't hear him despite the fact that both of them know it's a lie.
I think it's funny.
It is funny.
It's like a very to the well on the nose joke. That's very tropey. I can't hear, but I don't know. It works. It's
tropey Trek, but also like it is sort of a little kabuki play they're doing here, where both sides know that they sort of know that we have to perform this play to get to the next beat, in character. And Sisko knows he has to tell her to stop. She knows he has to do that. She knows he's not going to. He has, and so it's this whole thing that they have to act out in order to be professional. But we all know what's going on. So
what I really like in this beat a lot, especially juxtaposed with a lot of what we see in Strange New Worlds, which is in that show, they keep trying to play up the artifice of, look, we know how this goes. Somebody wants to do something that's against the Federation orders or Starfleet orders. It's big drama because we're going against Starfleet. But that's every week. So at some point it's a little like yawny. But they always try to play it dramatically over there. Whereas here, like you said, Ben does the kabuki theater, and he knows that like we're gonna do what we want to do anyway.
We have to say the couplet of dialogue to check the box and say that we did. But yeah. So, knowing that he can't stop her, Ben sends her the sensor logs, of course. So, she then is able to cut the engines and navigate on some of the currents, and floats where the runabout, in the runabout to where Worf might be, which I think is a really cool concept there. I mean, it's like it's shipwreck, right? We know the currents are going to take in a direction. You just turn off the thingy and see where it takes you. I
like it, cool. And it also allows us like just a little bit of exposition so that we can skip a whole episode of the search for Worf. Let's just find him quick.
Yes, because it's not about that.
Right.
But also we have to explain why she's successful and the Defiant wasn't.
Right.
And we reinforce here that she's making a sacrifice to save him because we see her space sickness, which now actually plays it kind of makes sense. It plays a role. It has a purpose for it, other than being cute. So back on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I'll make this observation 3 more times. But you know those like hours of time we spent with like the Ezri episodes?
Yeah.
This episode reaffirms how much we didn't need those, because in this one episode of Ezri, I get everything I need to know about her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe not her like gang affiliated murderous family, but
yeah, I don't care about that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter here. None of that matters.
The only thing that's ever mattered is like her residual feelings for Worf and like how they're going to navigate that, and also like her empathy and ability to use her sort of.
Well, it's how does she relate to our cast?
Right.
I don't, especially at this point in the series, I don't care how she relates to people who aren't our people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Use your newfound abilities to relate to our people. Deal with the Worf. See how it's different with Ben. You know, be a therapist to our people. Your weird brother, don't care.
Somebody has 3D printed this, I'm sure.
So, no doubt. So back on Deep Space Nine, Ben is working on a model of his new home in the middle of the night, and Cassidy comes in, and he announces, not surprisingly, that he wants it to be their house, not just his. And he proposes.
Awesome.
Finally happened, and she, of course, accepts. You know, there's something, and I thought about this in this scene, and I've always felt this about their relationship. Their sort of love language is a little antagonistic. It's a very, like, you know, they're very much equals. They're very much equals in intellect and power. But it just feels like there's always just like a little bit of antagonism between the two.
Yeah, it's almost like their love language is verbally Klingon.
Yeah, it's like there's like a little bit of a thumb wrestle in every one of their interactions, which is interesting because I don't dislike it because they're both such powerful. They're both captains, right? They're both in charge, and so neither one of them want to fall into the tropes of a traditional relationship. And so there's always that pushing back, like, hey, I know you're the captain, but I'm also the captain.
It's very consistent, though, which I think is helpful.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, they're going to get married. So back on the runabout, a very nauseous Dax gets spun around by the plasma currents, but finds an escape pod. She beams on the survivor, and of course, it's Worf. And he realizes that she came to save him alone. And we can tell that there's a touch of sexual attraction happening as they head for home. A touch of the tension.
I mean, it's not purely sexual.
No, but yes, there's lots of feelings going on there. But there's a little snippet there. A little heat,
spice.
Little heat,
You know what I mean?
little spice. So in Act 3, Wei-Yun has been summoned by the Founder.
Sorry.
Yes.
Over past episodes, we've shown their uncomfortability or their unwillingness to like even walk up to the line of their emotional entrenchment. But we've never actually seen a physical chemistry. I think because they just haven't been that close.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see that they have it.
Well,
I mean, they're good actors too, which is helpful.
We've held them apart for so long. It's interesting because we knew at some point they're going to have to come together at some point and work through whatever this is.
But I do wonder, and we can have this conversation another time, because it's completely speculation, I'm sure, whether this was the plan to kind of bring them back together in this regard, or if they had to screen test whether there was even chemistry, if that would be even like visually interesting, because that could have been a determining factor.
For sure, you know, and we don't know where this is going.
That's true.
And so we just know that they're in this chapter in whatever this is.
Well, it's either going to go down Chapel Spock, which is uninteresting, or they can't re-kill somebody because they already did that. So, I mean, I don't know.
We'll have to find out. So, in Act 3, Wei-Yun has been summoned by the Founder. She has visible Founder's disease and is flaky.
I think it's good I didn't watch Picard Season 3, probably.
If only I'd yelled at you and said, don't effing do it.
Well, I saw the action figure, Keith. I know Worf lives, all right? Although someone did say in the chat, they're like, could be a clone.
There's a lot. I mean, that is a very true thing. We don't know. We know they look like people. We don't know what they are.
But this wig.
Yeah, he's had some time.
It's his Wesley from Princess Bride phase.
That's exactly right.
As you wish.
With the Founder, the flaky Founder lady, a bunch of Vorta doctors have been working on a vaccine, but it's not working yet. And she tells him to have them save their work, then exterminate themselves and activate the clones to keep their replacement clones to keep working. And even Wei-Yun subtly blanches at that idea. That is
Wayun gives us his best every spouse in the morning to their opposite spouse. You look great!
Hilarious. Now, every time I see this, and I should know this better as my brother is literally...
I was hoping she peeled her ear off so that we knew where
that would have been great.
Where your thing came from.
They use the word vaccine, but they already have the disease. And I should know this because my brother is literally a vaccine scientist. I should just ask him. But, like, wouldn't it be a cure?
Antidote?
Not an antidote or a cure, because the vaccine is to prevent it, not to cure it. Is that the right use of the word? Somebody smarter than me explain.
Right.
I'm
also,
sure they're
do we
right.
know, because we haven't talked about this, and do we know if the founders reproduce or if they are finite at this point?
We know that they sent out 100 babies.
We know that they sent out 100 babies.
Right. Can they still create more babies?
We don't know how long ago that was. We don't know if that was like a one-time thing. We don't know anything about it. Because
I don't think we've answered that at this point.
And this is a syntactical argument. If we're creating a vaccine, and if you're positing your hypothesis correctly, maybe they're trying to prevent further replicants or from getting it, you know?
This lady doesn't seem like she gives a crap about anyone other than herself in this moment.
So actually, I guess which brother is the
Scott, my younger brother.
We're gonna have to ask him. This is important stuff. Stop him, whatever he's doing.
Yes. The Dr. Varney.
Stop his work.
Explain the Star Trek bullshit for me. Yeah. Great, not a problem.
Something tells me not the first time he got that phone call.
No! But to be fair, he calls me with nonsense on the regs too. So
anyway. Thank God I did say I was gonna be angry if Jake wasn't in this episode.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, the very first scene where he's with her, like talking about buying the land. Mm-hmm. First draft of that was with Jake. So there you go.
Scheduling.
So, she reminds Wayun, the founders lady, to keep this a secret from the Cardassians, obviously. And he needs another sample, so she gives him another one of the horrible founders flakes.
Ew.
The least satisfying breakfast. Founders flakes.
Mm.
On the On the promenade, Ben and Jake discuss the engagement. Jake is very excited, and Ben asks him to be the best man.
Really touching.
Right? Of course. Of course. It's awesome. And it's
you never
also
could have known
crazy
when Sirik was younger, but like, how perfect did the casting end up? Like, they look so much alike.
I bet they did not expect Sirik to be inches taller than Avery, and Avery's tall. But it's great. It's really sweet. So on the runabout, it's a bit awkward between Worf and Ezri, and they have an interesting dynamic of exes who know each other well. They talk about him singing Klingon opera, and they talk... Another question I had. Linguistic question. So they talk about the acoustics being good in the escape pod. I'm not exactly sure why the acoustics would be good in a tiny escape pod. It would be the opposite of that.
I don't know. Like a small plate here and there.
Yeah, but it's got to be a plate at all. Like, you know, you want a big space, not a small space.
Every time they talk about him singing on that, and then the way we found him, it makes me think of Spaceballs. Nobody knows the trouble I feel.
I haven't seen that movie in 20 years.
Well, deep cut then for Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, I vaguely remember it. So, it gets increasingly awkward, and she confronts him about avoiding her for 6 months. Then, oh my.
It very much mimics that first scene where him and Dax hooked up. Jadzia, excuse me. When they were they were fighting in the holodeck, and then all of a sudden they weren't fighting no more.
Yeah, well, the line between confrontation and conflagration for Klingons is pretty thin. So, two Jem'Hadar ships catch them. They're forced to flee to a planet and beam to the surface, abandoning the runabout, which they watch explode in the sky, which is pretty cool. Great visual. Then they discover that neither one of them remembered to take the communications unit. All they took were the Klingon condoms.
And we got basically what I said was a reverse castaway, only this time there's 2 volleyballs, if you know what I'm saying.
Wilson and Wilson. Yeah, so.
Somebody wrote that initial, way back lore, and they were like, there will be 2 guys who are obsessed with penis jokes in the future who will need a podcast about this, and so we should give them 2 dicks.
Two dicks and 4 balls. So, I mean, that's the question. How many Wilsons?
I was told he has 2 anuses as well.
That sounds like a mess.
I'm just telling you what I've heard.
I mean, so you gotta have like a Klingon double wide toilet? That sounds terrible.
You just need a double bidet.
Do you pick which one you use, or is it just a? I mean, if you have a little stomach trouble, that's a whole. I don't see how that's an evolutionary advantage.
Imagine if that Klingon hair it translates. You know what I'm saying? You need a heavy stream.
I quit. We just crossed. You know where the line was? That was it. Oh, we found the line. The people just puked into their podcastings. All right. Anyway, they were distracted, so they don't have a communications unit, and they're stranded with no way of asking for help. So in Act 4, Ben and Cassidy are discussing the wedding. Admiral Ross will do the ceremony, and they plan to do a very small, little intimate deal. But then, a Bajoran girl we've seen before comes up and asks to be the flower girl. They forgot that the Bajorans are going to make a big deal out of the wedding of the emissary.
Yeah.
Of course, it always happens with weddings. It's gonna be real small, gonna be a nothing burger.
Especially Pope weddings, they generally make news.
When the Pope gets married,
it's
a big deal. It's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Or is from Chicago.
Same difference. So back on Cardassia.
What if they shoot the Pope in the face with rubber bullets?
I mean, and laugh about it. I think they're big on that these days. Anyway, so back on Cardassia.
You thought we were going to get through a week with
Nope, not going to happen. Back on Cardassia, Damar complains to his concubine about Weyoun. And then in strides Dukat. This is the first time he's appeared here since the season finale of season 6. He is still a true believer in the Pa Wraiths, and he needs a favor. Because
How's this for a surprise, He-Man?
I mean, look, if we're going to set the chessboard up, Dukat's gotta be there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He's at least the bishop.
Definitely. So, on the planet, Worf has returned with a dead animal to eat. Ezri is annoyed that he killed a defenseless animal. He's annoyed that she doesn't understand, because Jadzia would have.
Uh-oh.
Which I think is an interest. Like, I like that beat because it continues to distinguish that Jadzia is not Ezri. That, in this particular way, especially in the relationship with Worf, because it was so Klingon based. The fact that she does not have Klingon sensibilities is a kind of a big deal.
Right, which does bring up the newest question in the game show that is sweeping the nation. Who am I about to bang? Sorry, I don't have any music. But right, like, that's what I thought about afterwards. I was like, after the celebration of the banging, because I was here for it. Was it 2 old flames meeting up, maybe drinking too much wine, or was it a new, different thing?
It's a very good question. Are we ending something, or are we beginning something?
Right? Is it? Oh man, is it Patrick Swayze banging Whoopi? Or is it? I really can't. I don't know what the alternate is, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, or is it pottery time?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent question.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get answers in this episode.
Although I guess instead of this, Keith, it would be like this, right?
It'd be yeah. You got to do both. I just censored like 72 different things. Like because do you go together or do you alternate?
You gotta go together.
I think you gotta alternate.
No, then you're milking a cow.
You kind of anyway.
Should I cut this?
No. No, we have to sit in this utterly ridiculous conversation.
I turned 45 in like 3 weeks.
Sure do. So they bicker as she's working on trying to boost a signal from the comm badge. Worf is horrified to hear that Jadzia babanged Bidet before they knew each other, of course. And then they bicker until they babang themselves.
Now, Worf, Dorn, can you give me just like a look of, uh-oh, what have I done? Sure thing.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, so that happened. Then when they wake up, out of nowhere, they are zapped by Breens and captured. Uh-oh.
They should have just put on a little bit of clothing, right? Like, just like it is interesting they made them do it in like full costume, but whatever.
It was cold. It was cold.
You're right.
But so like they could.
But she's wearing less in the cold open, basically, or after her like nightmare, she's got like a tank on, right? So it's not like we're trying.
Well, she didn't bring her nightie on the rescue mission.
You're right.
So they, for all we know, they fully disrobed in the jungle.
I hope so, because we don't want to soil a uniform.
That's right. That's an awkward thing to like be explaining after you got rescued. So you probably fold it, put it nicely away, but then it gets chilly when you're done and like in the woods.
Worf, this uniform is crusty as hell.
Ew.
Dead as hell.
Ew. I mean but also he's been sitting in the escape pod for like 4 days with nothing to do. I wouldn't want to take a black light to the inside of that escape pod.
We should stop. I'd be like, full stop.
Just quit the show altogether. So in Act 5, they wake up on the Breen ship in the brig. Worf is confused why they've been captured by the Breen because they're not a part of this war. But we do get a shot of the cool-ass new Breen ship. New design for this episode, looks awesome. So they talk a little bit about last night. And Worf knows that Dax is not allowed to make out with previous spouses, which we did a whole episode about this. But I think, instead of a lack of continuity, that like, oh my God, we cared about that so much, and we had that episode. I think it's more of a character progression. I think Dax has like gone through that experience, realized this is so ridiculous. I don't care about the Trill traditions are sort of being taken down. I know there might be consequences. No one's going to know what happens on this planet. So I think it's more her like realizing how ridiculous those laws were.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little... We'll talk about it later.
So on Cardassia, Damar gets a visit from Dukat. But surprise, he has been surgically altered to look Bajoran. What did you think when you first saw Bajoran Dukat?
Pretty cool, though I forgot why. I think I missed. Did he say before he did it why he did it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
We do not know yet.
Okay, I thought I had missed a whole chunk of plot, but...
No, we do not know why he wants to do this yet, other than he's still a believer in the Pah-wraiths, but he now looks Bajoran. What's going to happen with that?
Emperor's new clothes.
Who's to say?
Emperor's new clothes.
But I tell you who's excited about it. Markalimo.
Yeah. I was going to say, that makeup, much easier.
That makeup chair is a lot easier than Cardassian makeup chair, but it is interesting how much we've always seen the actor under all of that makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's instantly recognizable as Dukat, even though it is completely different. So, back on Deep Space Nine, Sisko gets a visit from his wormhole mother. And they have bad news. You know, we all got that conversation with our mother at some point when we're dating the wrong person. And she says, Sisko's path is alone. He can't get married. That is not his destiny. And he argues and says, nuh-uh, I want to get married. And she says, if you do, you will know nothing but sorrow. There are still many tasks ahead of you. Accept your fate. Your path is about to begin. And that is how we end Chapter 1 of the final sequence of Deep Space Nine. So there's a lot of pieces to discuss here without a lot of resolution.
Yeah.
What do you say we destroy a segment?
AlamarEmmys, there was more. AlamarEmmys, it's AlamarEmmys time!
I'm so excited. Someday, 10, 15, 20 years into the future, when you're given a lifetime achievement award in podcasting, when they give Emmys for podcasting, I'm gonna come out and introduce the segment where we play all of those.
That's awesome. That's what you're looking forward to. What I'm looking forward to is in the mere days when our channel is selected to overdub into different languages, and we can listen to that in some AI French.
We already were selected. I don't know why.
I know they haven't. Well, because there's
yet.
30 million hours to go through.
There's a lot of hours. Yeah. I can't wait.
That's gonna be funny
to hear that.
You know, it's funny. I turned it on one of my videos. So what's interesting is that it's just one voice doing it. Because I accidentally turned it on one of my other videos, and then I didn't turn it off, and I went to a different YouTube, different day, and it was like, blah, 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 and I was like, why is it in this language? Anyway, that was a funny story in my head, and then I told it really crappily. So,
welcome to the show.
Listen, hot take here. There's a lot of good stuff in this episode, so a lot of good stuff. But for me, listen, I made a prediction Keith's gonna hate it.
Okay.
I love the hookup. I'm here for it. I've missed the Dax Worf of it all. I think it's not just like a rekindling. It's interesting to see what this could be based on. The problem they have is that the setup scene they used was all about Jadzia. For her, right? It was Jadzia missing Worf. They didn't really show. All we got really of them was kind of like a heat, right? So we don't really know their motivations, which makes it interesting. But I do like when she died initially in canon, right? When she died, I missed that for him, and I was curious about how that, just like they were curious, how does that translate? And now we've, the whole, look, they were avoiding each other so they didn't make it weird. Well, it weird now, so we got to live in the weird, and that's interesting on this show. So I'm going to say that's my best moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, you're wrong. I don't dislike it, because I think this is a messy and complicated situation, a unique one, right? We don't usually have this. I imagine that the closest thing would be like if your dead spouse had a twin or something. And it's got to be really haunting to see half of the person. So, hey Jad, don't know where this is going, right? Is this going to be a new relationship, or is this dead friends with benefits?
Jen, if you were to die, right? But your consciousness was downloaded and put into a different person, but it was enough Jen in there, and then
Spoiler.
No, and then I banged that person. Would that be cool?
No.
But your memories and some of your stuff, yeah. You're Dax adjacent.
You can be cool with it.
Jen says it's cool.
She's into it. All right.
Are you leaving?
Is the reverse true?
Come on.
I want to know, is the reverse true? If Mike's brain got downloaded into a younger, hotter Mike?
Why would we ever want that up for anyone? Some things are meant to be one of a kind.
Why would you spoil a younger, hotter person with your decrepit brain?
Correct. In fact, I don't want my brain in there. I don't want to know about it. If I'm gone, she can do whatever the hell she wants.
Agreed. As it should be. Anyway, yeah, what was my best moment? Oh my god, there's so many. For me, it is the female changeling's ruthlessness.
Yeah.
Like, just murder all of the doctors who aren't getting it done and start another clone. Like,
what's kind of cool about that too, Keith, is that it's turned out to be very sort of consistent in a way. Like, what was our boy we met a couple episodes ago, the other changeling we just met?
Oh, yeah.
Gudo.
Whatever his name was. Gudo?
Gudo. Pop goes the goozle. Pop goes the goozle. But he was just, I don't want to even call it a narcissist, but his prime directive was me. My exploration, my me. And that's sort of like has, with the exception of Odo for the most part, has been what our experience of the Founders has been.
And it's not only just sort of self-interested or just sort of thinking I'm better than everyone else and their bugs, just as ruthless like that. I think like the way that they treat the Jem'Hadar, the way that they treat the Cardassians, the way that they treat the Weyoun and all that kind of stuff, it's not only self-interested but just brutally ruthless.
Kind of cool to see Weyoun's response to it too.
Right. He's like, oh
well,
boy.
because it sort of completely and utterly devalues him, right? He's a clone.
Right. Oh yeah.
And she's just like the clones mean nothing. Just
she can put him in a blender just because she's bored.
Yeah.
And would, and that's the scary part here. And so like there's something so casually ominous about that I think is fun to think about as we continue our end game here.
They do a really good job. We'll talk about it here too. They do a really good job in this episode of, when you say assembling the chess pieces, but also assembling sort of the kryptonites we've opened, right? We got to remember the Catcher So White, right? That's the weak link, the Achilles heel of the Jem'Hadar. We've got this disease, that's the Achilles heel of the Founders. We've got Damar's drinking. That's sort of we could exploit that. We've got Weyoun, who we've seen as good Weyoun, even though we know that somewhere in the biology, physiology of Weyoun is a person who is potentially a turncoat.
Well, he has a sense of self-preservation.
Yes.
What we see here when he gulps at her killing the clones is him like, I don't want that to happen to me.
We have now, for the first time, really, Ben's... it's interesting. Up until this point, mostly, all of Ben's journey has been to accept his place as the emissary, and his agency has been in accepting that, right? As opposed to having it just bestowed upon him. But now the flip is, it is preventing him from his agency.
Right. And Bill is coming due on all of this.
So there will be yet another choice for Ben, right?
Yep.
And super interesting. So, and that could be said is his kryptonite right now. Like either the emissariness of it is his kryptonite, or the desire for happily ever after is the kryptonite.
Right.
Depending on which side of the fence you sit on. Okay. Shall we?
Let's do it.
You get some stamps. Hell yeah, they are self-sealing. Here are some stamps for you.
Yeah.
Yo, it's great. It's great. They raised so much. So much happens in this episode, and yet nothing really happens.
Right.
Which makes it very difficult to adjudicate, isolate it. And I think you pointed that out up at the top. And it's also doubly difficult because here we are in season 7, especially knowing it's the last. And I'm not unique in knowing that this is the end, right? That you said that they marketed.
Right. Everybody
it this
knew.
way.
Yeah. We knew this was the end.
And so, when you know something like a relationship's coming to an end, you try to savor it, right? And I am just enjoying spending time with these people, and I appreciate there's so many of our favorite guest stars, and majority of the cast is in it for a little bit at least. And I'm so glad we're getting to spend some time with Ben Sisko now, and get back into his journey there, and so I didn't mind that there wasn't like there was lacking a sense of urgency, because I just was enjoying spending time with them. And the foreshadowing that is there, clearly, with the Siskos and however it's going to pan out with Bajor, and it's so... It's like this playoff game tonight. It's going to break my heart, or it's going to be euphoria. I don't know. I have sort of an impending sense of dread, because that's just the type of person I am, and I've been hurt before. But that's being a sports fan, right? When you decide to go all in on a team, you open yourself up for that. That's how I feel about Ben Sisko and the end game here of Deep Space Nine. It's exactly how I feel. I'm invested. The episode doesn't do anything wrong. I think it actually asks some awesome questions. It does a lot of reminders, but all of those reminders are not done in... Normally I'll tease and say exposition, where it's characters just saying something so that the audience hears it again. But they do it in a way in this episode where it is active and it is moving things forward. And so I thought it was expertly crafted from a screenwriting perspective and from a editing perspective. No loose fat here. I like as I said before, one of the biggest things this episode does is it like reinvested me into Ezri finally, even though it sort of cheaply does it through Jadzia. But okay, cool, whatever. This is the most interested I've been in one of her takes in a while. And Worf, God bless the man. What an emotional gauntlet he's about to endure, I'm sure.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be hard, but I don't want to overrank it, because it's not like a banger, but it's also like really proficient in what I think it's trying to do. And a lot of times, if execution is what it's about, this is extremely well executed. So I'm going to say 89 stem bolts.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said ad nauseum, it is hard to judge this one, because, and it is going to be that way for the rest of the run, right? Because we are part of a large story. We don't really know how this is all going to pay off for another 8 episodes, right? And you wanna feel sad? You and I only have 8 more regular episodes of this show after this one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So like, it's hard to know how this is all going to pay off. But I think you're right. I think it is successful at laying some groundwork, setting up the chessboard, reminding us of the motivations, asking some interesting questions, right? We have, like having intentionally dangling chads. But the interesting question, like, what's going to happen with Worf and Ezri, right? What is going to happen with Sisko and the Prophets and the wedding, right? We know we have 2 diametrically opposing forces. What is going to happen with the Founder's Disease and the Founder's Flakes? What is going to happen with Bajor and Dukat? What's that all about? We don't know. What's happening with Damar? We're starting to see some cracks there between he and Weyoun. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We don't know yet. And in all reality, we've only set half of the chessboard, because we have half of the cast we didn't even address this episode. But every one of them has their own journey to go through on this sort of like Lord of the Ringsian final journey we're going to go on.
Right.
So, like, we're about to return the king, baby. So yeah, sort of out of context by itself, I gave it an 85 stem bolts, because it, like you said, there's nothing here that's like, oh my God, this is the episode to like run to, but it's a necessary foundation for the rest of our story here, and I think it does a good job there. Yeah. Plus Worf and Ezri banged. I mean, that's fun, right?
How can you say it's not?
There you go. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the director's cut. Anyway,
AI is there for you, buddy.
I don't want anything to do with AI. It'll eat my soul. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much
You didn't
for
give
watching.
a number, buddy.
I did. I said 85.
Oh, I'm sorry.
85.
Keith,
So,
Keith,
yeah.
stop presses. You did a surprise to me, so I'm going to do a surprise.
Oh, God.
A surprise crossover episode.
Ooh.
Quickly. Just got an email from Master Replicas.
Oh,
And,
from actually Master Replicas?
well, just like it's a marketing email.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But they are releasing 2 new replica of a classic phaser and a communicator, and I know we've looked at like toy versions of those, but these actually look pretty rad, and I thought maybe we could take a peek together.
Oh, look at that.
Pretty rad,
Okay.
right?
I mean, sure. I mean, they look good. I mean, like, again, devil's in the details, but they...
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, I'm just saying, we'll have to get our hands on them.
Yeah, I mean...
Also, I saw, Nacelle is giving they're actually talking today, so we'll probably get some news from them out of New York Comic-Con. Hopefully they're going to give us like a specific date on the shipping of Wave 1. They said Q4, December-ish, but
Yeah,
haven't
well,
heard
same
anything
thing with Master Replicas. Everyone's pre-ordering. Send those stuff out. Let's
I know,
go. Let's
come
go.
on.
Let's go.
You heard the man.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
So, yeah. So thank you for watching. We will be... so In the World, this gets a 7.3, which is 104 out of 173. Again, I think because it's a set piece setter-upper. Next week, Till Death Do Us Part. Interesting. All right, folks. We'll see you back here next week with another episode of Keith and Mike Watch Deep Space Nine. Thank you for watching K&M Entertainment. If you enjoyed our particular brand of nonsense, please like and subscribe. Or become one of our patrons at patreon.com/KNM. Mike, we can't get married. We can't get married.
I
We're
love
not
you.
allowed.
Trill the end of time.
Oh, it's terrible. I think you broke the video.
Sure did.
Mike,
Yes?
will you marry me? Or at the very least, bang me in a lifeboat? You're welcome, Internet.
No!
Oh, no! Turn my camera on, will you? Hey, Mike, remember that time where your mom said you're not allowed to marry Jen because it's not your cosmic destiny?
Oh, I liked the one before so much better.
Don't we all? We can put them all in the end.
You're the one who says keep the funny stuff up front.
What?
You know, Keith, this
Our
type
marriage isn't working.
This type of fighting is why one of us has to die so we can bang the other one through our new host. We should not use any of this.
Use it all, baby!